Forrest Whitaker, and I play Inspector Frank Dotzler. Frank Dotzler is an inspector in Los Angeles. He is a detective who is assigned to some of the more difficult cases. He's assigned to this case when this murder happens, and he goes in and starts to investigate and starts to uncover another world that's sort of layered underneath. I think Frank Dotzler is somebody who has experience from his past. This is like a job that's almost a retirement job, meaning that he was coming from another agency. So when he sees Bryan's character, he recognizes pretty well the methodologies. And the methodologies for him equal that he's an agent, that he's an agent of some organization, and that now he has to figure that out in order to figure out the crime. I like him. I think he is someone who actually takes in the whole, the human experience. He cares about the people that are across from him. He's intrigued with life. He likes to be challenged, I liked all those elements about him. I think he's someone he's a highly intelligent man who is still capable of walking through the situations with some degrees of humility, and I think that's an interesting person to play, And then when you put that, the other layer, the intrigue of who is this guy, what was he before, why does he know this, how does he figure it out, when I get to play around with where he comes from, this is a fun character. I always like to be able to be challenged by a character, and the challenge usually comes in like entering new territory, so I can learn something, so in that case it could be a comedy, it could be anything. It's just about my own small personal challenge that I usually create for myself as I'm working on a character or something that I recognize is a territory that I haven't walked in before. I really enjoy working with him. He is, well, one, he's got a really open spirit, and so he creates a positive atmosphere. I think the set is infused with his positive energy and his positive thoughts, and of trying to make a film and to enjoy the process of making a film. I find him to be deeply inside the process. You can't help but watch the style as a filmmaker because it's unique. Like I say, operating and then having that intimacy with the crew and with the actors. And then the way he uses his Steadicam, the way the camera searches, the way it seems to be finding new things, the way he likes to sort of, shoot, opposite masters a lot, you know what I mean? The sort of coverage that he does on walks and certain things like that. You can't help it but notice a particular style. He has a very particular style as a filmmaker, and it makes me think. Work with Liam, and I had one scene with him. Actually, there's one scene where the water where he was running down the hall, but it's really the final scene that we have, it was really enjoyable. I mean, I like his work. I like the movies that he's done, and I think he's great in this series. And I was really, excited to get a chance to do that scene with him. And it's very intriguing because in the end of it, I'm like, stick around. I got some other questions maybe. Well, I think the movie takes them on a ride, but I hope that they see, inside of that fun, exciting ride, the family is the core still. I think inside of this ride, ultimately, it's about his wife and what happens to her, and about his daughter and what happens to her, or possibly could happen to her, and his friends. He's a good guy. I mean, he's not corrupt. He's not, he doesn't have a lot of anger issues or anything like that. He's more intrigued with his job and cares about his cases, and he's obsessed with it. He plays games a lot. It's like he opens up a case and he keeps it with him throughout. He becomes obsessive. He plays chess. He plays Akari, Awari. All these different games of strategics. And I think that's the one thing that he's really skilled at. And so it's fun that way. It's fun to play a character that's thinking like that.